Hello everyone. In my last lecture, I have discussed about Maxwell's all four equations and physical significance and derivation from equation 1 to 3. And in this lecture, I am going to discuss of the physical significance and the derivation of the Maxwell's fourth equation. And I think this is the very important equation in all the competitive exams for all BSc, BTech, MSc students in physics and also engineering students. And in discussing of the Maxwell's fourth equation, the knowledge about the equation of continuity is a prerequisite. And also it is all about the discussion of the displacement current and its physical significance that I'm going to discuss in a thorough way. Okay, and this is the experimental circuit that will just illustrate the Maxwell's fourth equation's physical significance. So this is the differential forms of the Maxwell's fourth law. This is the magnetic field intensity, and this is the conduction, this is the current density, and this is our displacement current. So I will discuss it, don't worry. So in our first, it is the equation of continuity. What does it mean? It is actually physical meaning of charge, conservation of charge. Okay, so how do we derive this? Let's take a cube, volume of the cube, x, y and z direction. This is the something mass is flowing in x direction. We have just showed in the x direction. It is amount is going out, its amount it is going in. So we can say that if we flow the charge, this is the charge flow. Qx charge is incoming and qx plus dx in from this surface. This is the dx. This amount of charge is just outgoing. So if there is a flow of charge associated, then there must be some current, and this current we have written I is equal to the time rate of change of current. And why this is a minus sign? Minus sign is just added here because there is a loss of something, there's a loss of charge is associated. The amount of charge is incoming, the more amount of charge is outgoing, so there will be loss of charge. So that's why this minus sign has been added. And this current, you can write this is a minus dq dt that can be equated with the j dot ds around a surface. This is surface integral of the surface charge density dot ds. It is obvious, and you can equate these two. The amount of charge is incoming, amount of charge is outgoing. Okay, so because this we can derive from the laws of conservation of the charge, means no charge cannot be produced or cannot be destroyed. And J hour is the current density. And when you apply the Gauss divergence law in it, you can remember in my last lecture the idea about the Gauss divergence law has been given. So when you apply Gauss divergence, surface integral becomes volume integral, and this this becomes ddt of rho dot dv, because this q you can write the volume charge density of the volume charge density rho dv. And when it just enters into the integral, this is a partial derivative, so we can take it within the integral, so it becomes del rho del t dv. So from this side, this is the volume integral and this is also the volume integral. So the equating this to volume integral, we can get that divergence of rho is equal to minus of del rho del t. This is the this is the differential form of the equation of continuity. So I think you all just realizes what it physically means, from where we started the equation and how do we get. Many students are unable to digest this equation, and physically they are not about very confident about getting this form, but you can think very easily we can get this form, because this divergence is associated with the divergence of any quantity. Here that amount charge is going out from the surface, that is the divergence of J, and the minus sign is included because that amount is going out and it is associated with the physical quantity of charge. The time rate of change of charge can be equated with the divergence of the local measure of the outgoingness of the charge density per unit area, and this is our equation of continuity, which is prerequisite in the Maxwell's fourth equation. Let's see how we utilize this equation. First, we can get the Max Ampere's law. So, very famous Ampere's law is an intermediate things. If suppose the I current is just flowing in a wire, and whenever the current is flowing, there will be a generation of magnetic field, and the magnetic field will be curling around that wire in a direction. This curling will be in direction of the curling of the just right hand thumb rule, our fingers. So in which direction our current is going, we just point this thumb finger in that direction, and the curling of the thumb finger will indicate the direction of the magnetic field. Now let's see how the curling can be implemented or incorporated in a mathematical equation. So from B dot, if we just keep this term mu 0, B by mu 0, it will become H dot dl. Here B is mu 0 H. Mu 0 is the permeability in the free space. So we can get I, the current, and I can also be written as the surface charge density of the J dot ds. J is the charge density. So if we apply Stokes theorem in that, the line integral can be converted into a surface integral. So H dot dl can be converted into curl of H dot ds. That Stokes theorem also I have discussed in my previous lecture, which is prerequisite in all the Maxwell's third equation mainly, and the J dot ds. So you can see the both sides have become the surface integral, and from that we can write that curl of H is equal to J. This is the differential form. So you can write this curl of H is equal to J from this. The surface integral equates each other, and so this curl of H, the curling of the magnetic field, is the pictorial representation of that. So in that way the curling of the magnetic field comes in the picture. So now let's validate this Ampere's that differential law. So we just took divergence in both sides, divergence of that quantity and divergence of the current density J. What we get, this divergence of this quantity, this from vector calculus, this is 0. So divergence of J becomes 0. But in my just previous slide, I have shown you that the divergence of J would be associated with the minus of del rho del T. That means the time rate of change of the volume charge density. But the rate of change of volume charge density is 0. So there must be a discrepancy in the Ampere's law. So this law is not completely wrong, but there must be a discrepancy. And how do we get this term as a 0? If we take the curl of any quantity, that means the curling, and we take the divergence, the outgoingness, local outgoingness of the curling of the quantity, obviously in physical sense that will give us 0. So from physically we can just realize how this term becomes 0, and from vector calculus we follow this 0. So this is the differential from the Ampere's law, and there must be a discrepancy. So Ampere, what Maxwell's do in his fourth equation, remove this discrepancy by removing by adding an extra term in the right hand side of that equation. So let's see how he just remove this discrepancy one by one. It's nothing tough thing. So it's our Maxwell's modification of Ampere's law and the introduction of the displacement current. Now what Maxwell's do, Maxwell just add a quantity in the right hand side, JD, some quantity. We'll just derive how this quantity will be what, means JD, displacement current. Let's first add this in the right hand side and validate the continuity equation. So we took the divergence in both sides. What we will get, this divergence, this quantity is again 0, so this quantity is 0. Now the divergence of JD is minus divergence of J from continuity equation, that means the del rho del T. So from following this equation we can get the divergence of JD minus del D del T is equal to 0, or the divergence of JD can be equated with the time rate of change of divergence of D, that means the current density. Now what we get, this this rho, we can equate this rho, means from Maxwell's first equation, divergence of D is equal to rho. So we just equate it from the take it from the Maxwell's first equation of electrostatics, Gauss law of electrostatics. So so what are the prerequisites? Prerequisite things are the equation of continuity we used and the Maxwell's first equation. So following this we get divergence of JD minus del D is equal to, D means the epsilon 0 into electric field, which is the proportional to electric field. So it is the time rate of, this is practically the time rate of change of electric field. What we get? We get this term JD is equal to del D of del T. So Maxwell's added that extra term del D, and that is validating the equation of continuity. So without this term, the equation of continuity is not validated at all. So I think you all have understood why Maxwell added this extra term, and following this some little bit calculation, it comes out to be the time rate of change of electric field. That means D is equal to epsilon 0 into E. This is proportional to electric field. So accordingly, Maxwell just add the amperes. In Ampere's law, we have to add an extra term, that is the displacement. This is called the displacement current, mu 0 I plus ID, and curl of H. In Maxwell's law, we have to add that term del D del T. So this is the Maxwell's modification of the Ampere's law, and this is the Maxwell's fourth law, where the contribution of Maxwell's is to add an extra term along with J is a del D del T, and this is called the differential form of the modification of Ampere's law, and JD is the displacement current density. So let's see physically. Up to now we have just mathematically derived the Maxwell's fourth equation, but physically we have not understood what the term actually means and how it come. So to understand it properly, we have to just utilize a experimental circuit. Let's see. So experimental circuit. So this is our circuit. So this is the displacement current which is associated with capacitor circuit. So we have a battery and we have a capacitor plate, and the charge Q is flowing. That's from this terminal, negative terminal, charges are flowing out in this, and this is plus charges accumulating. Generally in a circuit, the conduction current is very much greater than displacement current. The charge is flowing, so electric field will be direction from there to there. So it will just forming a closed loop. From here the charge is going on, and the accumulating, the plus charges that accumulating in this plate and minus in this plate, it will form a condenser plate, and there will be a little current associated. So that is called our displacement current. In this circuit we can't neglect this JD, and if we add this, it will only validate the continuity equation. So how we get it? So physically from this circuit we can write the electric field stored in this plate can be written as, if sigma means surface charge density over the plates, there must be accumulation of charge. So accumulation of charge will give rise to the surface charge density, and that will be Q by A. That means the small q. Here it will be plus capital Q. Sorry. So electric field will be sigma by epsilon. So sigma means the charge density, Q by epsilon A. If we take the time rate of change of electric field, it will give rise to the del Q of del T term. So what is the del Q of del T? It is the time rate of change of charge accumulating. So this time rate of change of charge will give rise to the current that is called a displacement current. And if we divide it by the total area of the plates, that will give rise to the displacement current density. So physically from this circuit you can get that if there is a capacitor circuit, charge is accumulating, so the charge flow and the accumulation of electron will form the closed loop, and that will give rise to a small current in a capacitor circuit that is very much smaller than the conduction current, and that current we can't neglect in a capacitor circuit. And with the introduction of that current, the validation of equation of continuity can be carried out. So here also you can get from experimentally JD is equal to del D del T. Okay, this is our displacement current. Now we will just from this circuit we will just put a surface, and we will see how this surface, these equations are validating. So it is our fourth law, curl of H is equal to J plus del D del T. So if we take the now from the differential form, how can you get it integral from? We take the surface integral curl of H dot ds, which will get H dot dl. You can remember the H dot dl is equal to J dot ds is equal to I. This is only the Ampere's law, and the right hand side it is the contribution from Maxwell d dt of d dot ds means the time rate of change of the surface integral of the electric field component, electric field density d, and this is our integral form of the Maxwell's fourth law. So let's just see the same circuit. Now it is our capacitor circuit, previous slide. Now we will draw a surface. This is the S1 surface S1, this is the surface S2. Okay, so in a surface S1, what we can get, the line integral of the magnetic field will be the surface integral of the J dot ds. From this equation we write J dot ds is equal to the total current flowing in the circuit. This is the total current from the battery. Why this term is 0? Because when we are drawing this surface, this cutting this line, we can have a current enclosing a current I, but here the current is flowing, but the rate of change of electric field is constant. So this ddt of d will be 0. Electric field is constant. So constant electric field give rise to the 0 current. So here on this surface we get this equation. Now we will move to the second surface S2. What we write in surface S2, it is not just enclosing this line, so it is not enclosing the current I flowing in the circuit. So first term will be 0, and the second term what we can get, the surface integral of S2 will be time rate of change of electric field, that means the S2, because of this current enclosing is 0, you can write this S2 S1 plus S2 enclosing the surface only this term, because the first term is 0 in the surface S1, this S1 surface, that because, so we can write this is the time del d del t dot ds. Now we are taking two surfaces S1 and S2, and the quantity we are getting, this must be equal to there should not be any discrepancy. I am just showing it from how from different surface the concept of displacement current actually physically validating the whole equations. Okay, so it is the enclosed current is 0 over the surface S2. So from this equation what we can write, that the H dot dl closed integral ddt of, we can write this partial integral can be written as the whole integral, and this d dot ds. So this we can get dq dt is equal to I. Now from this step to this step we can write d dot ds means, d means epsilon 0 into electric field, it is the proportional to electric field dot total area. Now we can think this in this area, E dot ds means the electric field is in this direction, and the ds it is also in this direction, so the dot product will give rise to E ds cos 0 means the 1. Okay, same direction in the area ds. And what we can write, this is the flux of the electric field, E dot ds means phi, this, but it is within the capacitor plate. So what we can write, the first law of electrostatic, that is the first law of electrostatic, flux of electric field between, we can write q by epsilon 0, integral E dot ds means the flux is equal to q by epsilon 0. So putting this value q by epsilon 0 will get the total charge. So if we replace the total charge substituting, we can get dq dt, that means I. So it is the same current. So whenever we are taking the line integral over the surface S1 followed by the surface S2, it will produce the same quantity with this logic physically, and we can get this term. So what we can see, this is q charge, is the instantaneous charge at a moment that charge is accumulating on the plates of the capacitor. So we can see very easily how the Maxwell's equation, Maxwell modified the Ampere's fourth law with the introduction of a new term only. This is only Maxwell's contribution, the rest is the Ampere's law. So Maxwell's only removes the discrepancy in the Ampere's law, and that equation is very important, curl of H is equal to Z plus del D del T which, so it's Ampere's modified law. With this term we can get that BDL mu 0 I, and this D with this del D del T, here it can write as displacement current, it's ID, and that is the current that is flowing in the capacitor plate, which is very small. In case of the when the electric field is constant, electric field is not changing, current is not flowing, we can't get this term, and we will only have this statics from electrostatics and magnetostatics, we can only get this mu 0 I, this term will not be there. whenever we are thinking about the electromagnetics, everyone just remember this fact, we'll have to consider the effect of the displacement current and the displacement current density, which will which will account for this term del D del T and ID in a capacitor circuit. So I hope you all have enjoyed this and understood the Maxwell's fourth equation, and you will not have difficulty in just writing it in an exam paper or any competitive exams. So this is my channel, Physics and Geophysics Learning. Here I'm talking about the physics. Next I will talk about geophysics, and don't just forget to turn on my bell notification icon for getting more updates. Thank you everyone.